There are places in the world that feel almost mythical, and New Zealand belongs to that rare category, a land where every horizon seems crafted for awe. Across these islands, ancient fjords, smoldering volcanoes, and southern auroras converge to form a landscape shaped by both nature's force and Maori legend. In Milford Sound, cliffs rise like cathedral walls, while waterfalls descend in long silver threads that blur sky and sea into a single mirror of light. On the alpine trails of Tongariro, emerald lakes glow against black volcanic rock, creating a terrain so otherworldly it seems lifted from a forgotten realm. At Lake Tekapo, dawn spreads slowly across turquoise waters, bathing the southern Alps in a veil of soft, opalescent color. Rotorua reveals a different kind of wonder, earth breathing through geysers, steam vents, and boiling mud pools, echoing traditions preserved by Maori guardians of the land. Far from the world's crowds, rolling hills where sheep outnumber people remind travelers that wilderness still writes the rhythm of life here. Along Abel Tasman's sunlit coast, kayaks slip between golden inlets while seals rest on warm stone, shaping moments of quiet, effortless beauty. And as these landscapes begin to unfold, one thing becomes clear. This is only the beginning of what New Zealand has to reveal. Every journey has a story to tell. Like, subscribe and be part of this global adventure where every destination sparks a new dream. Mount Cook. Some mountains speak softly, but Aoraki/Mount Cook begins with a presence that fills the entire horizon before a single word is said. The Hooker Valley shifts between silence and motion, swaying bridges, whispering ice, and the delicate murmur of meltwater threading through stone. On Tasman Glacier Lake, boats move through a world washed clean of sound, where centuries-old ice drifts like sculptures abandoned by time. Under the vast, dark sky reserve, stars gather in luminous clusters, turning the valley into a cathedral lit only by the cosmos. And as planes glide above the southern Alps, the landscape below appears unfinished, as if nature left it open for those willing to imagine the rest. Wellington. Wellington, the spirited capital of New Zealand, blends coastal majesty with a vibrant creative energy that pulses through its streets, galleries, and waterfront neighborhoods. A ride on the historic cable car lifts visitors above the city, revealing a panorama of terraced hillsides, glimmering harbor waters, and the lush expanse of the Botanic Garden. Te Papa, the country's groundbreaking national museum, invites deeper exploration through immersive exhibits that illuminate Maori traditions, natural wonders, and the evolving story of Aotearoa. Along Oriental Parade, the harbor breeze mingles with the aroma of roasted coffee as locals linger at sunlit cafes overlooking the curve of the shoreline. At Weta Workshop, guided tours reveal extraordinary worlds of imagination, showcasing the craftsmanship behind cinematic epics like The Lord of the Rings and Avatar. Around Wellington Harbor, restaurants celebrate the region's maritime bounty, serving green-lipped mussels, grilled fish, and seasonal dishes shaped by ocean and culture. Zealandia, a pioneering eco-sanctuary, protects rare native species in a restored valley where birdsong replaces city noise and conservation is lived, not lectured. Sunday mornings draw food lovers to the harborside market, where artisan treats, fresh produce, and live music reflect the city's communal spirit. A drive to Mount Victoria Lookout rewards travelers with sweeping 360-degree views of Wellington's skyline, its harbor glinting beneath the shifting southern light. Bringing together walkable city life, rich cultural expression, and wild natural beauty. Wellington stands as a capital designed for those who seek discovery at every turn. Auckland. Some cities welcome you gently, but Auckland greets you with the sweep of ocean wind and the quiet power of ancient volcanoes rising beneath your feet. From the sky tower's lofty heights, the metropolis unfolds in rippling layers of light, water, and green ridges, as if the entire landscape were breathing in slow, deliberate rhythm. A ferry ride carries travelers into the serene world of Waiheke Island, where vineyards spill over sunlit hillsides and locals craft wine with the same care they give to their stories. In Auckland Domain, echoes of the past linger among winter gardens and the War Memorial Museum, where Maori heritage is preserved with reverence and told with unmistakable pride. Ponsonby and Britomart offer a different pulse, alive with design studios, artisanal cafes, and contemporary galleries that reflect a city eager to create, not just display. Rangitoto Island, dark with solidified lava and crowned with hardy Pohutukawa, offers a climb that feels less like a hike and more like a pilgrimage through geological time. At the fish market, chefs transform the sea's morning offerings into dishes shaped by global influence, but grounded in unmistakable New Zealand freshness. And as sails catch the last golden wind over Waitemata Harbor, Auckland leaves travelers with a rare sensation that this city is not just visited, but entered, like a story waiting to unfold further. Milford Sound. Milford Sound enters the senses long before it appears in sight. Its glacier-sculpted cliffs rising like colossal stone ramparts that guard one of the most ancient landscapes in the Southern Hemisphere. Stirling Falls crashes from a height of 155 meters, its powerful column of water catching the shifting light and transforming the fjord into a luminous tapestry of mist, shadow, and silver spray. Bowen Falls, standing even taller at 162 meters, commands both beauty and purpose, its relentless plunge powering the entire settlement with hydroelectric force, a reminder of how humans here coexist with the landscape rather than conquer it. When the rains sweep through fjordland, the sheer granite walls awaken with hundreds of ephemeral waterfalls, each one appearing only for moments, turning the cliffs into a cascading cathedral alive with movement and sound. Dolphins carve fluid arcs alongside passing vessels, their presence adding a pulse of vitality, while fur seals stretch across the dark sun-warmed rocks at the base of Mitre Peak, anchoring the wilderness with moments of quiet life. Kayakers slipping beneath Fairy Falls drift into a world of cool, suspended mist. entering a space where the sensory boundary between water, wind, and rock dissolves into something almost dreamlike. With weather that shifts from ghostly dawn fog to sudden clarity to rainbow-lit showers, Milford Sound recreates itself constantly, offering new moods and new perspectives for every passing hour. And when sunrise finally pours its molten gold down the cliffs, the fjord reveals a grandeur so profound it feels less like a morning scene and more like the unveiling of a world still in the process of being born. Queenstown. Queenstown commands attention from the moment its jagged mountains rise into view, announcing in bold silhouette that this is a landscape where adventure is not optional, it's woven into the very terrain. The historic TSS Earnslaw sets the tone as it glides across Lake Wakatipu, its open-air decks capturing shifting hues of blue and gold, while passengers breathe in the crisp alpine air. The Skyline gondola climbs steeply toward panoramic platforms perched above the town, where the Remarkables stretch across the horizon in dramatic folds of rock, snow, and shadow. In the lively town center, cafes spill onto the streets, gear shops hum with anticipation, and the entire place seems charged with the energy of travelers preparing for their next leap into the wild. The drive to Glenorchy twists through landscapes so cinematic that they've become synonymous with fantasy worlds, rolling pastures, braided rivers, and the serene silence of the famed Paradise Valley. Central Otago's wine country adds a contrasting rhythm, inviting exploration of sun-drenched vineyards where Pinot Noir thrives in one of the world's most distinctive high-altitude terroirs. Along the Dart River, jet boats carve across glacial waters at exhilarating speeds, framed by ancient forests and sheer mountain walls, a raw, unfiltered expression of New Zealand's wilderness. And as daylight fades over Lake Wakatipu, Queenstown settles into a glow that hints at endless possibilities, reminding every traveler that in this alpine haven, each new day begins with the promise of another extraordinary story. Bay of Islands. Some landscapes speak softly. The Bay of Islands sings, 144 islands scattered like green notes across water that shifts between turquoise, jade, and mist blue. At Cape Brett, the ocean gathers its energy, guiding vessels toward the legendary hole in the rock, where dolphins rise and fall as if answering an ancient rhythm. Waitangi Treaty Grounds anchors the region with memory and meaning, its carved houses and resonant chants offered to the wind, the sea, and those willing to listen. Urupuka Island welcomes paddlers into bays where silence drapes itself between white sand and gentle tide, creating moments untouched by haste. Russell, once a bustling frontier port, now exudes a quiet grace, its colonial facades glowing softly beside waterfront terraces kissed by evening breeze. Private yachts drift through volcanic corridors, passing the dark geometry of the black rocks, before drifting into coves brushed with amber light. Beneath the surface, gamefish move through the blue like living constellations, marlin tracing arcs of silver, kingfish slicing shadows, snappers shimmering in schools. Haruru Falls hides inland, a curving sheet of water breaking into mist among ferns, moss, and native birdsong. Back in Paihia, the hum of conversation, clinking glasses, and open-air galleries blend into a modern coastal chorus. And when twilight settles and the islands soften into silhouettes, the bay leaves a quiet truth behind. Some places don't ask to be remembered, they insist. Rotorua. Rotorua unveils itself in swirling steam and shifting earth, a geothermal realm where bubbling mud pools, hissing vents, and towering geysers reshape the landscape with dramatic energy. Maori culture flourishes here with heartfelt performances, ancient chants, and the unmistakable aroma of hang, earth-cooked dishes that carry flavors preserved through generations. Along the shores of Lake Rotorua, the Polynesian spa offers mineral-rich pools that cradle visitors in warmth while the surrounding hills blur softly into the horizon. At Waiotapu, vivid mineral terraces and the radiant champagne pool display a palette of orange, jade, sulfur yellow, and sapphire, a geothermal canvas unlike anywhere else on Earth. As evening settles, Lake Rotorua transforms into a quiet stage where black swans drift like dark silhouettes across volcanic reflections. The Redwoods Tree Walk invites travelers into a cathedral of towering Californian redwoods, its suspended bridges glowing gently with artistic lighting after sunset. At Tepuya, the Pohutu geyser erupts with rhythmic force, while master carvers and weavers keep Maori artistry alive with precision and pride. A forest zipline experience adds a playful note, carrying adventurers through layers of native bush that hum with birdsong and filtered green light. With its fusion of natural spectacle, cultural depth, and restorative calm, Rotorua stands as one of New Zealand's most unforgettable encounters. Lake Wakatipu. Lake Wakatipu stretches across the southern Alps like a ribbon of mirrored light, its glacial waters holding both geological history and a quiet sense of mystery. A voyage aboard the century-old steamship TSOS Earnslaw brings the landscape to life, its polished brass, rhythmic engines, and open decks framing the lake and mountains as moving works of art. Queenstown Gardens offer a softer contrast, where sheltered paths, whispering pines, and bursts of seasonal color guide visitors toward serene views across the shifting blue expanse. The scenic drive to Glenorchy unfurls along the water's edge, revealing untouched valleys and film locations where fantasy landscapes were brought into reality. Along the shoreline, the lake's curious rhythmic pulse, nicknamed the Wakatipu Tide, creates a gentle rise and fall that locals have woven into legend. Kayakers and paddleboarders glide across the surface, their silhouettes drifting through calm waters surrounded by peaks sharpened by wind, weather, and ancient ice. As daylight fades, lakeside cafes serve Central Otago wines, whose bold character echoes the rugged terrain glowing under the final sweep of gold. And from the seat of a helicopter, Lake Wakatipu reveals its full serpentine form, carved long ago by glaciers yet still capable of taking one's breath away. Tongariro National Park. Tongariro National Park emerges across the Central Plateau like a monumental canvas of volcanic silhouettes, sacred peaks, and mineral-rich earth continually reshaped by ancient forces. The legendary Tongariro Alpine Crossing unveils a sequence of elemental landscapes, emerald pools glowing with geothermal pigments, obsidian lava fields, and the dramatic scarlet ridge of the red crater revealed in crisp alpine air. For a quieter encounter, the Taranaki Falls Circuit threads through golden tussock, alpine forest, and basalt cliffs, culminating in a graceful waterfall that descends over lava sculpted in a distant geological age. After long hours immersed in high country terrain, the Tokaanu thermal pools provide a soothing retreat, their warm currents rising through the fading light like a gentle exhale from the earth. High above Huakapapa, the Sky Waka gondola glides over volcanic valleys toward commanding views of Mount Ngauruhoe, its flawless form a striking emblem shared by both Maori tradition and modern cinematic lore. Chateau Tongariro, poised at the foot of the ranges, blends heritage charm with expansive mountain panoramas, offering a refined counterpoint to the stark drama of the volcanic wilderness. And when winter settles over the park, a simple chairlift ride reveals a transformed landscape, ridges softened by snow, craters hushed into stillness, and the vast plateau glowing beneath a pale crystalline sky. Kaikoura. Kaikoura appears where the raw architecture of Earth is fully exposed, snowy peaks rising violently from an ocean teeming with life, forged by the restless meeting of tectonic power and Pacific swell. Far offshore, the Kaikoura Canyon plunges deeper than the Grand Canyon, drawing mighty sperm whales to its dark, nutrient-rich waters, offering encounters that feel almost mythic. Along the peninsula walkway, wind-sculpted cliffs unfold like ancient pages, revealing colonies of seals stretched across sun-warmed limestone ledges. Local crayfishers haul in their catch at dawn, and the flavors, sweet, clean, unmistakably oceanic, anchor one of the region's most enduring culinary traditions. From the sky, helicopter blades carve through alpine air, unveiling a coastline where glaciers, forests, and deep blue converge in a single sweeping panorama. Winter at Oahu Point introduces a gentler rhythm, pups tumbling in sheltered pools, practicing the instincts that will carry them through wild seas. Ninsbin transforms the shoreline into a retreat of steam and stillness, where hot tubs face a horizon shifting constantly between storm and serenity. Guided Maori experiences tie the journey together, grounding every landscape in Huakapapa, reminding visitors that Kaikoura is not only scenery, but a story shaped by ancestors, ocean, and time itself. Piha Beach. Piha Beach arrives in a rush of wind and wild surf. Its black volcanic sands and towering lion rock forming a coastline that feels carved by myth as much as by the Tasman Sea. From the Piha lookout track, the landscape reveals itself in sweeping layers, ragged cliffs, restless waves, and a horizon that burns gold as the sun sinks into open water. The trail to Kite Falls threads through native forest humming with birdsong, ending at a three-tiered cascade that spills into a crystal pool hidden beneath fern-fringed cliffs. North Piha stretches wide and untamed, where seasoned surfers chase thundering breaks, while vigilant lifeguards mark the safest pockets of water for swimmers. At low tide, the rocks surrounding Lion Rock unveil, tide pools alive with starfish and anemones, and the site's cultural significance becomes clearer through its enduring place in Maori heritage. Piha Cafe adds a gentler rhythm to the day, fresh pastries, ocean breezes, and rainforest views blending into a quiet moment of coastal life. And for those who linger overnight at Piha Beach Stay, morning arrives softly, with the deep roar of the surf and private paths leading back to one of New Zealand's most dramatic shorelines. Coromandel. The Coromandel has a way of stopping travelers mid-breath, its emerald headlands, hidden bays, and cloud-brushed forests forming a coastline that feels both untouched and impossible to forget. At Hot Water Beach, geothermal heat rises through the sand like a secret whispered by the earth itself, transforming the shoreline into a spa carved by tide and human hands. Cathedral Cove delivers one of New Zealand's most iconic reveals, a stone archway opening onto water so luminous it looks almost unreal. The Driving Creek Railway climbs through native bush with playful twists of track, revealing sweeping gulf vistas framed by sculptures and the scent of warm clay. Whitianga hums with seaside charm, morning markets, fishing boats returning with the day's catch, and kitchens turning local seafood into coastal comfort. Kayaks skim toward Donut Island, slipping into a sea tunnel that leads to a lagoon so sheltered it feels like a secret chamber carved from time. The Lost Spring rewrites the idea of relaxation. Tropical gardens, mineral pools, and quiet corners that soften the world into warm, shifting light. Coromandel Town brings creativity to the forefront with artisan studios, colorful storefronts, and its legendary mussel fritters savored by generations. Driving the 309 road uncovers a string of wonders, ferns dripping with mist, kauri trees towering like ancient kings, and whimsical waterworks hidden in the forest. And at journey's end, New Chums Beach appears like a reward for the curious, a pristine crescent of sand so remote, serene, and untouched, it feels borrowed from a dream.